Happy Sunday, everybody. Thanks for joining me in the card closet for another episode. Like usual, we're going to start with a mystery card of the day. And since it's episode number 472, we're going to go with a player that had 472 home runs allowed as a pitcher in their career. Had to dig deep for a stat that matched 472 since a lot of the lists I go by, nobody had that magical number 472. So let's see if you can figure out who this player is. Again, a pitcher with 472 home runs allowed, which is fifth all time, by the way. So his rookie card is in 1966 Topps, and it's called a Rookie Stars, and it is with another player on the card besides him. Throughout the rest of the 60s and the 70s, he just had his standard issue cards. But in 1981 Topps, he is on the ERA leaders card with Rudy May. In 1983 Topps, he had a super veteran card. And in 1984 Topps, he's on two cards dedicated to the active career leaders, one for active career wins and the other for strikeouts. 1985 Topps, he's on a record breaker card for most seasons with 100 or more strikeouts. His Topps run ran from 1966 to 1988, 23 consecutive Topps cards. There was no Topps card in 1989, but Score did put out a final sunset card of his in 1989. He's a Hall of Famer. He is a four-time All-Star. Before making the majors, he played for an unaffiliated minor league team in the Basin League called the Sioux Falls Canaries. And when I was a teenager, I actually played games in the very stadium that he played in. The stadium's still there today, but it's been completely redone now. Some of the accomplishments that he had: he pitched over 200 innings in a season 20 times. He had over 100 strikeouts in a season 21 times. He had over 10 wins in a season 21 times. Long, steady career. Most of it with the Dodgers, 1966 through 1980 with the Dodgers. And again, in 1988, he came back and finished off with them. He's 14th all-time in wins with 324. He's 7th all-time in strikeouts with just over 3,500. His career ERA was 3.26. Had 178 complete games, and he's 10th all-time in shutouts with 58. He played in a bunch of World Series and was on the losing end of all of them. 1974 with the Dodgers, 1977 with the Dodgers, 1978 with the Dodgers, and 1982 with the Milwaukee Brewers. So, did you figure out who he is? He had a famous fight with Steve Garvey in the clubhouse one time. Yes, the correct answer is Don Sutton. So please let me know if you were able to figure that one out. Don Sutton. This is my favorite Don Sutton card. I was hoping to find a card of him on the Dodgers that I liked, but most of his Dodger cards are kind of boring. So I went with this one with the Astros, where he was teamed up with Nolan Ryan. All right, just a couple things to show here before I get into the card. Had a birthday about 2 weeks ago, and because Colorado's been doing so incredibly awesome this year, there went down. My family has been getting me all loaded up and decked out in Colorado gear. They won last night, became bowl eligible. Pretty excited about that. All right, so today's topic is going to be 1924. What do you do if you're a set collector in 1924 and the cards you want to get are rare? And I do mean rare, and I believe anybody in the hobby, even John Mangini, would consider this card rare. So for those of you that don't know, I have a project going where I'm trying to complete every Boston Red Sox team set back all the way to their beginning of their existence. And so far, I've got everything back through 1933. So since I've got the 2024 team set, that makes 92 consecutive years of complete Boston Red Sox team sets. And I'm working on 1932 now. Looking at what I've got left, I've probably got 50 some cards left to complete the whole run back to 1902, which is when the first Boston Red Sox card was made. And a lot of them are going to be tough to ever get. You know, the Babe Ruths, the cabinet cards, the breaches. And then there's this pesky year called 1924 where you just don't have a lot of options. And I got this in the mail the other day. And it is the 1924 Diaz Cigarettes card of George Murray. And that is a typo. It should be Murray, is how he spelled his name. And you'll also see these called Diaz Cigarros. And it was made in Cuba, Havana. Don't know my Spanish that well, but it is talking about the set consisting of 136 pitchers. They're all pitchers, no batters. 1 through 136, American players. So here, let me get it out of this authentication bag. You can see it a little better. So why do I say this card is rare? Well, PSA has only graded one of this card, and it got an authentic. And SGC has only graded one of this card, and it got a 1. That's this one right here, this example in my hand. It's the only SGC graded version of this card. Now, of course, there's probably more out there somewhere that just haven't been graded, but when you're talking a pop of 1 of any grade, it's a rare card. And this whole Diaz Cigarros set is going to be difficult to get. Going to be difficult to obtain because these cards are just not out there. You know, you can search everywhere high and low. There unfortunately are 10 Boston Red Sox players in this set. And you know, it's roughly 20%, maybe a little less of the remaining cards I have for the all-time Red Sox team set. So in 1924, when this came out, there's also a set called the Walter Mayles card game. And that has 3 Red Sox players in it. There's, which I'll try to get as well. Z-Nut had 145 cards set that year, but they're all minor leaguers. There was a Mrs. Sherbick's bread pins. There were 10 of those, and no Red Sox though. There was a Crescent ice cream issue in that year with 14 cards in it. But they're all from a team called Hanbury. There's an Oakland Tribute card, 1 card set, one known to exist, of Walter Johnson. There's a Stars of the Diamond notebook covers, 9 in that set, but no Red Sox. And then there's a Quebec Bulldogs postcard set with 9 cards in it, but they're all from a baseball team out of Quebec. So this one, the Diaz Cigarros, has 10 Red Sox in it, so that's the biggest set that year. And if I'm going to tackle this project, I got to go after them. So probably will never complete this. You know, in 5-10 years of looking, this is the first one I've gotten, and most of the time you don't even see them. I mean, I don't even get an option to bid on them because they just don't exist. So this is like the first Red Sox player I ever saw. So I knew I had to be serious about getting it. We'll see if the other 9 ever show up. But let me just tell you a little bit about this George Murray. He didn't start playing professional baseball until after he'd gone to college, and he got a bachelor's degree in textile engineering. He's from North Carolina, born in 1898. Pitched for the Yankees in 1922, was on the roster for the World Series that year against the New York Giants, which the Yankees lost, but he was not called on to pitch in that World Series. And then in January 1923, he was traded to the Red Sox. And he was traded with a couple guys named Norm McMillan and Camp Skinner, and $50,000. And in return, the Red Sox sent Herb Pennock to the Yankees. And the owner of the Red Sox at the time was publicly quoted as saying that he believes Murray here had a much better upside and future than Herb Pennock did. But we all know what happened there. Herb Pennock got onto the Yankees, became a superstar, and became a Hall of Famer. So George here, his nickname is Smiler because he was always smiling. He pitched 2 years for the Red Sox, going 7-11 and 2-9. Then he went to the minor leagues for a year, came back with the Washington Senators in 1926 and 1927, had his best year as a professional in 1926, going 6-3. And then he was out for 6 years to the minors, played in leagues out west, the Texans League and the Pacific Coast League. And in 1933, he finally got his chance back to the major leagues, played for the White Sox for just 2 games. But he was only 34 years old, so he kept playing in the minor leagues until age 40. He was 19-26 in the major leagues, but he had over 160 wins in the minor leagues. So that's a little bit about George Murray here. So let me know in the comments if you're familiar with this set. I know that Orlando from Collector's Dream, being from Cuba, or his parents are from Cuba, and he's got Cuban ancestry. I've messaged him about this set, and he didn't have any yet, but he wants to get some. But again, tough set. It's kind of weird to believe, that you just to think you're holding something that was in Havana, Cuba. When did it make its way over to the United States? How long ago? If this card could just talk. So anyway, it's a cool set. I really like it. And looking forward to the hunt, the thrill of the hunt, trying to get the rest of those. So anyway, guys, happy Sunday night. Hope you guys had a great weekend and have a great week ahead. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.